I was the first woman. I hope someday this will not be a title, because when I did take up these roles, the title was always Yuriko Backes, first woman too. It was the same when I became finance minister, first woman finance minister. Now it's the same for the defense. I'm the first woman in charge of defense in Luxembourg. So this is very exciting for me, of course. It shouldn't make a difference whether you're woman or man. It really shouldn't, and someday nobody will hopefully talk about that anymore.
Hi, this is Nadia Kendall, and this is the Power Her podcast series, You Have What It Takes. This is Minister Yuriko Backes, Minister of Mobility and Public Works, Ministry of Gender Equality and Diversity, and Ministry of Defense. We're very, very excited and feel very honored, by the way, to have you on our podcast today, the podcast series, You Have What It Takes with Power Her. So, can you tell a little bit about you, how you would describe yourself to our girls?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's a big pleasure. Well, describe myself. I was born in Japan. I love to travel. I traveled the world. I was always interested in politics. I became a career diplomat, and finally now ended up across different jobs in politics. And I like to change things, and I'm totally engaged in the jobs. Former job as finance minister. Now, as you mentioned, it's a lot of work, but I'm somebody who works really hard because I want to make a difference with total engagement.
I like the key word that you're putting there, engagement, and I feel that we all feel that here, and it's really exciting to have you here with your engagement. Could you walk us through your journey? How did you get here?
I was always interested in politics. I started as a career diplomat. I was working always with politicians in that capacity. With foreign minister, I was diplomatic advisor to two prime ministers. I was representative or ambassador of the European Commission here in Luxembourg. I worked as Maréchal de la Cour. I forgot what that's in English.
Yeah, it says like Marshal of the Court.
Marshal of the Court. Okay, so I was also Marshal of the Court at the Grand Ducal Palace in Luxembourg. In all these capacities, I was always the first woman. I hope someday this will not be a title, because when I did take up these roles, the title was always Yuriko Backes, first woman too. It was the same when I became finance minister, first woman finance minister. Now it's the same for the defense. I'm the first woman in charge of defense in Luxembourg. So this is very exciting for me, of course. It shouldn't make a difference whether you're woman or man. It really shouldn't, and someday nobody will hopefully talk about that anymore. I see a lot of interconnections as minister, also responsible for gender equality and diversity. This is such a transversal topic. It's in every area of our life, including mobility, including in public works. There are gender issues that can be addressed, of course, when you're talking about the army or defense, also very male dominated environment. Having come from the finance ministry, which is very important to our economy, also still quite a male dominated environment, even though this is changing and we have fantastic women in our financial sector, also in top positions. So this is a subject that I'm very passionate about, because women can make it to the top if they want. And the rest of us should be there to always help and support them. So these a little bit the walk of my life from a career diplomat to the world of politics.
Wow, I hear a lot of firsts. Because you've been the firsts of many things, which is very impressive. But as you said, hopefully one day the firsts won't, yes. I understood your point. Yes, since you've been a lot of firsts, Have you ever felt like you didn't have what it takes? Did you ever get questioned on, she doesn't have what it takes?
I think that's more something that a burden that you put on yourself. You question, or at least I can only speak for myself, you question yourself. Really? We want you to be finance minister. Really? Me?
Mm,
We want you, to take up this position. Really? Me? It's more that I very honestly always question myself. And there was other people who believed in me and who said, "No, you can do this. You have the absolute capacity to do this. We know you're hardworking, and you will do this." So I think it's nothing other people put onto me to question myself, but that I put onto myself because that's my character. But I see that very often, more often in women than in men. They
yeah,
question themselves, but more often than men. If there's a job application, if it doesn't 100%ly fit, women will not apply because between the 100 qualifications that one needs, there's 5 that you don't have. Questions that I find very often, even though it's not good to generalize, that men don't question that so much. They are more convinced in their capacities, but it doesn't mean that women can't do it, and they always prove that they can.
absolutely. And you show that to us and everyone who's watching that you definitely can. What do you think, what do you have that it takes to be in such inspiring roles right now? What does it take to be that?
It's difficult to talk about oneself. I think
Of
this
course.
is, of course, more of a question that perhaps others who believed in me could answer. I can only say about myself that I've always been very, very hardworking, but I've always tried to also keep the human dimension. You work so much, and I take things extremely seriously. Some people say sometimes too seriously. But again, it's with total engagement that everything that I put my mind to, I've always tried to do, but always staying very human for me. Personal connections, getting
Absolutely.
along with people, showing empathy are so important because also I am absolutely convinced that teamwork is always the best way to do anything and to get anywhere. Nobody can do it alone, and you can be as hardworking as you want. If you don't have a good team, you will not make it. So it's a matter of working
Amen.
together, sharing things, finding a team with whom you can laugh, with whom you can cry, but with whom you share the same passion.
Absolutely, absolutely. You've spoken a lot about the different roles you've had over time, the different environments, male-dominated environments, etc. But you must have had a few role models that guided you throughout your journey. Did you have anyone in specific, maybe, in the industry specifically or in the family? Was there anyone who guided you through this journey?
I think there's a network of friends that have guided me and supported me, which is very important. Also, a network of family that has always supported me in all the decisions I have taken. And I think without that, it's also very, very difficult. Every single decision I've taken in my career, I've always discussed with my husband. As my kids, I have 2 boys. As they got older, every decision that I've taken, I've always discussed with them as well. For me, the family support is extremely important, and I've luckily, I think, always gotten the support to do what I'm doing now, to join the government, to take on these positions of responsibility. Without their support, it would have been very, very difficult. So I'm in this very fortunate position. Role models, I would say, in the Luxembourg political environment, there's one woman that has always inspired me from my political party, the DP, and that is Colette Flech. She was the first woman foreign minister in Luxembourg. She wanted
Wow.
to become a diplomat. And because she was a woman at the time, she wasn't allowed to join the foreign service. She later became foreign minister, so the boss of all these male diplomats. She has inspired me always. An absolutely fantastic woman. Beyond Luxembourg, one woman that has always inspired me is Simone Weil, French politician who is a Holocaust survivor. She was the first female member of European Parliament, president, sorry, of European Parliament, very much engaged in gender equality issues, also passing the law in France, the first law in France for abortion. So she is someone that is, as a woman, and also because I see always her human touch and her human dimension, on top of her absolute determination for her work. So she's someone that has always inspired me.
That's really amazing. That's really, really amazing. And there's something that you said that I really liked was that you have a network of people. And when we coach the girls here at Power, I always tell them, sometimes we think we don't have people and that we don't know who to go to for support. But once you mind map the network of people that you have, you slowly start to see that you actually do have a lot of people around you, and the worst thing that they can do when you ask for help is to say no.
And they rarely do, I think. It's absolutely important, the network of support, but also always surrounding yourself with people that you can brainstorm with. Because very rarely there's a right or wrong, very rarely there's one way to go. But I think when you can really find a network of friends, colleagues that you can brainstorm with, it's really the way ahead to take the right decisions. Because you can measure different points of view, bring it together, and that's why for me also as Gender Equality and Diversity Minister, in all these networks that you create, that you surround yourself with, diversity is absolutely fundamental as well. Not only a network of women, not only a network of men, not only a network of economists or lawyers or whatever, but a mix of everything, from backgrounds to religions to nationalities to everything. Just diversity is what we need. Diversity is something very powerful and positive, and I absolutely believe in that.
And you do that, and you demonstrate that very, very well. And I'm a bit of a fangirl right now about your Ministry of Gender Equality and Diversity, because to be honest, when I speak to other people about it, the outside of Luxembourg, that's amazing. You're so progressive in Luxembourg. How does it feel to be the Minister of Gender Equality and Diversity, something so many countries don't even have? It's a first again.
I'm absolutely passionate about this, and this ministry has evolved and also in its competencies over many years. First, it was really more about gender equality or equal chances between men and women. Now it's much broader than that. Really, it's about gender equality and diversity, since the new government has been formed. Also, the LGBTIQ+ community is now part of this ministry. So the politics that we do for the LGBTIQ+ community are also being managed in the ministry, which is called MEGA for short. So I quite like it.
I love it too.
MEGA minister responsible for gender equality and diversity. It's really a passion of mine, and so many topics fall within this ministry, from of course gender mainstreaming to gender-based violence.
Yep.
Violence is still a topic, unfortunately, in our society. Also in Luxembourg, we still see a lot of domestic violence. We have gender-based violence, and part of my job is then also to put in place a national plan that we will be doing for the first time against gender-based violence. It takes a lot of communication, a lot of work with stakeholders to see what's the right thing to do, how can we address this in the best possible way. We will be working on a national plan to continue to see how we can promote gender equality. Extremely important, and then also a new plan in favor of the LGBTIQ plus community. So you see, it's very, very broad, and only that ministry
already would be more than a full-time job. So yes. I'm doing my best.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It's honestly, it's incredible and it's so inspiring how you put this forward, how you're championing women's rights, gender equality. It's just, yes. Anyways, so I could go on. I could absolutely go on. It's really inspiring to us. A lot of the girls we have come from diverse backgrounds, and some of them may find themselves asking, including myself, I come from here, I come from there, I don't speak this, I might not speak that. What's your advice to them to really collect within themselves? You still have what it takes.
To believe in yourself, because everyone is good at something and is passionate about something. And when you're passionate about something, and you can follow that passion, it's what you will be good at. And that's what you should follow. And this is the inner voice that you should always be listening to. Follow your passion. And that will lead you, I'm sure, to success.
That's perfect. It's good advice for me too. What's the best part of your job? What's the most exciting part of it?
That's very difficult, because the job I have, or the jobs that I have, are very different from gender issues. This morning I was at an inauguration of a safe space, a freedom zone for LGBTIQ plus community. Afterwards, I met with a delegation from the US Congress, speaking about defense issues in the geopolitical context we are in today. This is, of course, a topic that is extremely high on my agenda. Absolutely. So jumping from one topic to another within an hour or two, I think it's very exciting. It's not always easy, because it's an extremely vast portfolios that I have, also mobility and public works. We have a fantastic network of a mobility network in Luxembourg, free public transport. We are continuing to construct the tram, but really investments into the infrastructures of our mobility is also a huge challenge. So again, just like for the defense portfolio, where we are speaking about huge investments into our Luxembourg national defense and into our collective defense. So we need huge investments, continue to have huge investments into our infrastructures to improve and to continue to improve mobility for everyone in Luxembourg. So these are big responsibilities that I'm really trying to manage as well as possible. Always with the overarching desire to improve the life of our citizens. That's really my job description. Working for my country, and working for the people who live and work here.
It sounds like a double-sided coin then. The fact that you have diverse tasks is a great part of the job, but also a challenging part of the job.
That's exactly it. Yes, that was your question. At some point, I forgot what your question was. I get carried away.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's a lot. I think it's really it's a lot of files. I'm somebody who really likes to dig into the files to know what are really the problems. To really speak to as many stakeholders as possible, to see the different sides. You know, you have problem or challenge X, you have to solve it. So you have to read a lot of things about it, but my preference is always to also speak to the relevant stakeholders to get different opinions. In the end, I need to take a decision. But I want to take the best possible decision, and that I can only do if I have all the information. So this really takes a lot of time, because I really want to do it perfectly. Women are sometimes perfectionists. Men also, again, we don't want to generalize, but
let's be real.
So yeah. So it's a lot of work. My job today is really 7 days a week, and I feel like it's 24 hours a day. It's not, because I do get some sleep in between.
I was going to ask that. But it's very, very motivating, and despite the fact that it's a lot, and the fact that it's a huge challenge, and we're dealing with really huge investments, like I said before, into our country, and to manage that properly, it's a challenge that I'm really super honored to be able to take up.
How do you take care of yourself in all of this? I'm curious.
I try to get some hours of sleep in between getting up very early in the morning and having rather late nights and engagements. I must say that, and I recommend to everyone who's working hard, do your sports and stay healthy. But look who's talking. I'm not managing to do that as I should be today. But I think over the years, what I've really done sort of religiously is doing yoga and Pilates every morning. That's how I start my day, and that gives you energy. It gives you a physical power to start the day positively.
So to round up today, I want to ask you, what's your best advice for staying confident, even faced with adversity, mistakes, difficulties, and the challenges you discussed?
I think it's not so much of feeling confident. I think it's really people, girls, boys, should stay natural, should just stay themselves.
Yeah.
Even people who are not confident or less confident, just be yourself. Because you're allowed to make mistakes. It's human to make mistakes. And it's also human to admit that, you ask me a question, I don't have the answer, but I'll look into it. I think just always stay true to yourself. It's the best way. And people can relate to that. People know, everybody knows nobody's perfect. We're all only human. And I think that dimension, wherever you go, personally, professionally, just stay true to yourself.
Well, there you have it. The best advice you can get from Minister Yuriko Backes. Thank you for being on our podcast today. We really appreciated you here.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
See you in the next episode. Bye.